Your World of Champions Super Disky team delves deeper into the disky that underscores the foundation of South African football with the final of the 18th edition of the Maimane Alfred Phiri Games between Mighty Birds of Matadeni, Newcastle, and the Soweto Super United outfit that is a local outfit, of course. We are live from the Alexandra Stadium, and, well, a good day it is to you all, wherever you may be on this beautiful continent. And as we mentioned earlier, we delve deeper into the meaning of disky. And when they speak of disky, we speak of the grassroots of South African football. There is no better place to go than Alexandria. There is no better tournament to go to than the Maimane Phiri Games, of course. And as we look at the weather conditions, it's an absolute pleasure to introduce, well, James Mayinga up alongside me here, a man who loves the beautifully South African game, and it gets no more beautiful, no more South African, no more disky than tournaments of this nature, James.
We're talking about Kasi flavor, Mabena. You won't enjoy it. Hence, we have seen people doing special projects. It's a big final today in the Maimane Phiri. It shows how much is at stake from the team from KZN. Uhlabela amadlozi athi kuvulela amasango ngithathe le cup namhlanje.
18th edition. Started way back in the early 2000s. Many of you will remember Maimane Phiri as the first South African to get a red card, of course, at a FIFA World Cup some years ago now. He went on to go play for Morocco Swallows alongside you, if I'm not mistaken, James.
Yes, Mabena, we played he had a sweet left foot. He was a marvel to play with, and also a leader in the field of play. Having graced the likes of Turkey and also the World Cup, it was an overwhelming experience to play with such a legend.
Overwhelming indeed. And as both these teams come out for the meet and greet at the start of it all, we will be having the Dignitaries coming out in the very near future here. It will include Carl Reddy of SA Clinics, Nathaniel Komani of UMSO Construction, Ramsey Musetedi, the General Manager of NTN, Marvin Mufageng, the Sales Manager of Heineken. A tournament that's grown over the years, has grown to a point where sponsorship has also jumped in here. The community has jumped in here. It's not only at senior level, it goes down to junior levels as well. There's a ladies section to this tournament. In years gone by, we've had participants come as far as beyond South African borders. Finalists here from the Kingdom of the Zulu against one of the local sides here from Soweto. You couldn't ask for a better local tournament.
Football is a universal language. It talks different language to many people. Hence, we have seen it always makes sure that the masses they combine for one purpose, which is the love of football. We have seen it with the World Cup in Russia. Today, we are seeing it also live in Alexander with the Maimane Phiri. We have seen it last year with the Phillies Games in Tembisa. What more will you want when the SuperSport descend, the World of Champions descend in your neighborhood? It changes lives, Mabena.
There is Maimane Phiri. Many of you will remember pictures of him, of course, in tears as he left the World Cup field after having picked up a yellow card years ago. Many of you will remember him, of course, as one of the mainstays of that Morocco Swallows team, the last great Swallows generation, if I may call you guys that, James, without going too far. And of course, for any of you that need further probing into Maimane Phiri, there was that unfortunate incident out in Mamelodi in a clash between him and Brian, the goalkeeper, where Brian's nose got smashed in, and they were both going in for a 50-50 ball. The Dignitaries all timing out. And Maimane Phiri is one of those players where many of us would have seen him playing for the national team first, before we saw him play club football, in that he left South Africa so early to go play abroad. But my oh my, what a servant he's turned out to be in, well, giving back to the community here since 2001 here in Alexandria, and giving back to South Africa. It is known as the World Cup of Amateur Football. It reaches its climax here today, and the people of Alexandria, of course, along with many across the world, have enjoyed the World Cup, the FIFA World Cup out Russia, brought to you, of course, live in the World of Champions. Every kick, every goal, every red card, every celebration, and every tear shed. Now we focus on the World Cup of Amateur Football, looking at the mighty birds, of course, from out in the Kingdom of the Zulu. They will look to a man who's come good for them in front of goal, that being Sponiso Sugazi. He is known as Killer. He has contributed 6 goals to their cause in this tournament so far. What another man to keep an eye on is Gaddafi for his leadership skills. What's out at Soweto Super United, there are a few players to keep an eye on here. Former Cosmos midfielder from Midlands is Deboko Mukungo, or Makungo, I should say, I beg your pardon. And Drunken Master, they call him, in Confidence Mujabilu. And of course, nicknames go a long way when it goes to the beautifully amateur game, the disky part of our game here, where nicknames carry the name and carry the man. Kalani Kumalo, of course, one of the coaches that will be looking for joy at the end of it all here. There's a lovely atmosphere and, of course, an expectation of some of the action. I know you were here yesterday, James, that many saw in the semi-finals. There was drama in as far as the Muti men hard at work and all of the drama that came with that. But at the end of it all here, it's all about two sides looking to be crowned champion. For the men from the KZN, 2 times losing semi-finalists to Black Poison, the same side beating them for the last 2 years at the semi-final stage. For the Super Soweto or Soweto Super United squad, they are finalists for the first time, as are their opponents. There's so much expectation.
So much. The question is, will that be equaled by the performance of the players in the field of play? We've seen them doing what is called cutting flavor in terms of Amasamaya Amashibobo yesterday. With television today in picture on high definition, will that be a mind factor for them? I think yes, in such a way that they will want to showcase their own talent, forget about teamwork. But look, we are in for the final. Bakhona Bakalawa Jespi, Bakhona Professor Tutuzeli, but you Hosadi Nizobona Butika si flavor hili.
Characters that come along with the teams and of course do their bit in front of the goals here in the way of the goal that will be defended by the men of the Kingdom of the Zulu. Characters in just some of the men that marshal the goal line with a special buckle, a special something coming out of the pocket. But let's not forget Donald Pagi, the man that will be in charge of this fixture. Happy Data will be the man that, of course, will assist him on the near side, and Mongani Muni, the assistant on the far side. All concerned will be looking for a memorable first on your World of Champions live.
This is history, Mabena, in the MAPA Games, and that shows how much stride they will take in an 18th edition to be live on high definition on SuperSport. It's massive. We need to commend SuperSport for taking the games to Ekasi, and also for Maimane Phiri to make sure that we work tirelessly to raise awareness about this tournament all over South Africa.
Now, I know there's a special phrase you guys use that have lived out in Gauteng for a while, but that little piece of land where the ball is sitting, where I'm from, we call it Lepoko, where you're playing on sand.
Yes.
You guys had a special term earlier.
Very familiar with it, Mabena.
Yeah.
It's associated with the pool queen. That's why they call it Kasi flavor.
And you have it then. It's interesting times as the Soweto Super United outfit look to get the better of the mighty birds here. We can expect flashes of skill. We'll also be looking forward to some encouraging moments in the way of adventurous football. But more than anything, we look to be entertained here by two sides that have gotten to a final where at first there were 32, now only 2 remain.
It's not an easy road, Mabena, taking into account that even the reigning champions in Dengeza, they were knocked off in the first round. That shows how competitive it is. Black Poison they were also knocked, they were previously. And also, in terms of Mighty Base, they were knocked by Black Poison last season. So it shows how much emphasis they put for them to come into the finals.
Good movements out on that far side. There's movement in the attacking areas. In the end, the final delivery is a disappointing one here. That's the man Shiba, played for Polokwane City in the past year, wearing the number 12 jersey out on that far side for Soweto Super United. You'll see a few players that played in the top division, with Katakwasa Masugu on the bench for the Soweto Super United squad as well. Formerly Black Leopards, Orlando Pirates, Chipper. There's a Cosmos man I mentioned earlier. And Makwego, he'll be operating in the creative areas for Soweto Super United, dressed in the blue.
There is much at stake, my friend. 175 is no child's play. Hence, we've seen the experience of Shiba and also Masuku motivating the Soweto Super United. But what is very key is for these youngsters from Mighty Base to make sure that, yes, we're coming from the outskirts of KZN, but we have so much talent. Today, we want to showcase that on high definition.
Early ball forward here. Out wide, they do have Manigela to Soweto Super United. Nice battle in midfield here. Finding a few challenges and looking for the overlapping run of the captain. With the two captains coming together, it's seen as a foul here by the match referee. It looked good, enterprising, attacking play going forward then.
That's the strength of Mighty Base going forward. They always use their flex because Bapete o Kalawa Jasmine, you know, when you talk about Kalawa Jasmine in the music industry, it's all about good tunes. That's why they call him Kalawa Jasmine. So he will be very handful into Soweto United players.
In swinger, looking for the touch on the far side, and in the end, it rolls out comfortably for the goal kick, but a lovely piece of play then from the dead ball situation.
That's Kalawa Jasmine at his best. There was a good delivery. Unfortunately, it was not connected very well at the end. That's the trick about them. They always utilize their set plays. Like their first goal yesterday, they scored from a corner kick. So surely, Super SSU, I call them, they need to be wary about such instances.
Nasbele with the early ball forward here. Solid defensive work. Very interesting watching the man wearing the number 15 on his back then for the Soweto outfits in Nasbele, known as Balak. From Michael Balak, of course, the German international that operates in the number 6 position.
Yes, he has so much strength. He's your box-to-box player.
No worries in defending the first attempt to get in there. There's a second attempt, and not an attempt at all then. Again, good work defensively. Nice pace about this game in the early exchanges. Good skill in keeping it alive and looking for the killer ball in the space available between goalkeeper and defense then with Sugazi. Looking to get in there.
They will always look for Sukazi. They call him Killer. He's always running on the shoulder of defense, very pacey and very strong, holding up the ball and able to give them a different dimension going forward.
Nice touches on the far side again. Sugazi always on the shoulder of the last defender. He's one we touched on in the build-up to this game as someone to keep a close eye on. From a goal-scoring point of view, they will be looking to him to, of course, make things happen. Man with 6 goals to his name so far, Sugazi. He's captain in Matondo from Ladysmith originally. Now, many of the men in the side will have hailed from out to Newcastle and Matateni. There are 3 or so players that come from Ladysmith that are part of this team. 1 or 2 from the same area as TOCBC. You might remember him from your days as a professional.
Yes, BC, what a stocky player, very strong striker. But also for the young boys, they want to emulate the likes of DOCBC, who are from the neighborhood to football Mabena evolves. And now we've seen young stars coming up into the picture. They just need to grab this opportunity. It's a one-lifetime opportunity, Mabena.
Well, so far, looks as though the Mighty Birds are looking to settle quickest in as far as dominating the midfield battle between these two sides.
Interesting, there's a short man in the middle of the park. They call him Nanana, and he's the man that always string the passes. Once he has the ball, the likes of Sukazi, they're on their bike to make sure that they play the ball behind the defense of SSU, and that's where the strength of Mighty Birds is, with Nanana on the ball.
All over the top to the far side to be defended by Nango. In the end, he'll have a throw-in to take. Malimongo Nango, known as Tambui. Second year it is with the club. Speaking to some of the back staff officials of the club, Mighty Birds, that is, they tell me that Tambui is a very reliable young man.
Very reliable indeed, Mabena. Even in the field of play, whenever he's on the ball, everything happens. The Kalawa Jasmine, the Nanana, they always rely on him to make sure that he string those passes and give them an edge against their opponents.
Potter, out to that far side, looking to apply a bit of pressure with the early ball forward. Nice touch in the middle of the park then. Of course, the unevenness of the field will make life difficult from the way of a free-flowing game, but that is what amateur football is about, of course. It's about being able to not only overcome the difficulties that come with the lack of quality in the way of conditions, but still being able to entertain despite those difficulties.
That's where you'll see the cleverness of these players, and that's where you can see that this one is destined for greater heights or not. But with Shiba taking it on for Super...
Nice ball in there, dealt with beautifully by Mogeni between the sticks. Pressure still on here with SSU in Soweto Super United, asking questions and hoping to find that all-important breakthrough. Again, Losbele very much involved in the middle of the park, the man wearing the number 15 on his back. This time, the man fouled. We'll see a set piece in a very good area here.
It was a difficult ball to mark, Mabena, taking into account that it was on the air and everyone batting so that they can win possession. But unfortunately, the referee was at the right time, at the right place to spot on the infringement.
Maimane Alfred, the man brought down, known as Tugu Tugu.
You familiarize it with Makanya from Orlando Pirates.
Now, from range, straight into the wall here. Not all too comfortably dealt with, but Sugazi able to tow it away at the expense of what looks a corner. Throw in fact, right next to the corner flag. Nicely done in winning it back, nice and high up the field. 3 in and around that box, hoping to take advantage. Again, they ask all the questions to the Soweto Super United outfits. Rush of blood to the head, then with options inside of the box.
I think the idea was to curl it, and unfortunately he had connected with the laces. You cannot falter the man for trying from such a range. Shiba should have known better that you rather have a first touch on it as the field is bumpy and to try and curl it to the far corner, but unfortunately it couldn't even hit the target.
Shiba, known as Tiki Tiki. And of course, you think Tiki Tiki, you're thinking too. Masilela, you also think, of course, the man that operated in that heart of that Kaizer Chiefs midfield for quite some time.
Yes, yes.
Also in the books of Bay United and Chipper United, Shiba should be said in pointing that out. And the Chiefs man, known as Tiki Tiki.
Thabo Moki.
Thabo Moki. Yes, sir.
A very skillful midfielder. He will turn it on for Kaizer Chiefs. Even the derby style, whenever he's on the ball, you know that the fans will stand up and give him a standing ovation, as will do his Tamayas and Shikishas and Chibobos in the middle of the park.
It's a good play then by Nangu in bringing it forward. The man operating with the number 4 in his back. I mean, to take on a good few then and pushing it forward. There's the character of the men in red and white here from the KZN. Tell you what, he's gotten quite fabulous over the last week or so here in Alex with his antics on the goalpost and such.
He's a busy man, Maimane. He has been busy since from the tournament started up until to the final. It shows how much it's at stake for Mighty Base.
Again, it need to be pointed out for the finals, James, they have been given new regalia, new kits, both the sides here to wear for this very special occasion, which means some of the numbers may be jumbled about here. We are still trying to ensure we can identify every player out there for you, according to the numbers we had in the squad list before the final and the new kits and the 1 or 2 changes in the numbers here. For instance, the man wearing the number 11 for SSU in Soweto Super United was wearing the number 23 coming into this game in the previous games. That, of course, being Manigela.
Yes, that's the difficult part about it. Yes, yes. Yeah. That's the difficult part about it, because yesterday we could identify him with the number 22 at the back, but unfortunately with the new strip for the final, it's very difficult. And also, when you look at the tiny figures of them, it's very difficult from where we are sitting in the commentary box. The KZN, in fact, the Mighty Best defenders, they're taking no prisoners, but they must be careful where the tackles are made, because within the edge of the 18, Shiba, he always has a nice right foot. He can bend it, so they must be careful about that. Very interesting about this tournament, Maimane, is that whoever is crowned champions haven't defended it. So every year we have a new champion. So is these two teams gonna break that barrier, or are they gonna be following suit with the likes of Ndengeza and Black Poison?
Well, it's very much like a World Cup, isn't it? Where winning it doesn't necessarily mean you are favourites to defend it. It's difficult to defend. And for instance, Mighty Birds having reached 2 semi-finals in a row to get to this final, lets you know just how hard they've had to work, of course, to get their rightful place in the final. A club that's not too old themselves, they're 3 years old, and in their first year. They got to the semi-finals of this tournament. Some defending coming their way. Shiba amongst those looking to take advantage inside the box. Calm. Mighty Birds in working it out of the danger area. Goes Bailey. With a bit of a nudge at the very last moment then by Nangu. A few out in the stands were hoping for a decision that might be favorable for SSU.
Yes, that's the strength of Langwe, very sweet. But also the beautiful football always attracts beautiful people, Mabena, into the welcome to Kasi Ekomora.
Lepotko.
Yes.
Means the dusty fields, for those of you that aren't in the know. Of course, these days, you will find many footballers go through development, growing up in development structures, which means they grow up playing in patches of green grass and so on, whereas many professionals from even the Mayenga era, which is only currently coming to end, your Shabalalas and very many others. By Shabalalas, I mean Shaba out to Kaiser Chiefs. Their development stages, your Yele Tsulinyani, goes back to tournaments of this era, of this age, where football is played in front of crowds of this nature. If you come out with a nice enough piece of skill, everybody runs onto the ground and Gilipuko. That's how it's done.
Yes. If you remember very well, the Godfrimloy in Soweto, that's where most of the players, in fact, that's one of the tournaments that started the Kasi tournament by those early 80s and all. And it has make sure that the other communities that follow suit, the Godfrimloy, as we see the Maimane Phiri, the Phillies, they also Bolole in Deviton. But what is very key about this tournament, it has produced talent that may have made it in the PSL.
Spirit Shabalala, Ketutula Zwane, Kolisi Kunene, Pomakola, Patrick Pongwayo, Joseph Alongwani, Lebokang Manyama, Linda Shiba, Ongani Izungu,
yes,
Linda Mtambo, Donald Madola of FC Cape Town, Pilani Tele of Tender Royal Zulu, Bosnatin Zovu of Baroka Football Club, Sipomueti, players discovered while playing at these very games of the players I've just mentioned now. Discovered playing right here.
Not forgetting him, Toko Sisiende in the phone.
How can we?
We've been graced by their presence in today's final. That shows that these are the graduates of the Maimane Phiri Games.
The goal, yeah, chase on. Good work to try and keep alive at that corner flag. Force a decision with the goalkeeper having committed himself as well. Then that's clever play.
He had to make sure that it takes for the corner, because had he turned back, he had ample time to turn and make sure that he can have the focus of the goal. But good work by the good goalkeeping from the goalkeeper.
Pilani Matondo, the man with a thoughtful play on that front foot, the captain of Mighty Birds, of course. One of those that hail from Ladysmith in Kumayo, where DOCBC hails from.
You familiarize the same name Madondo with Kulegan Madondo from Platinum Stars also.
Formerly with Amazulu.
Yes. So it shows that these youngsters, they always look up, they have their idols, they always look up to them. And today is one of those opportunities which they've wished so much for so many years. And now it's a reality for them. They just have to showcase their talent.
Well, you spoke of Jogazisi, and it's hard to miss. He's always the stylish one in the crowd. Jogazisi in the center of your picture.
Opetum Swenko, Opeti style. That's where they call him the gaffer.
Of Tux fame, also moved on to Kaiser Chiefs. Remember, he was the young man that played alongside Andrew Charlie out at Tux in that impressive Nedbank Cup run from the Tux team that was still in the National First Division at the time before their promotion.
Yes.
Time, space. Bata. Nicely done here by Matondo again. In trying to get things moving, going forward out on that far side, a bit of pressure now for Nango. Strong, extremely strong, and needed to be lovely balance as well. There's none. My, he's strong. My, he's strong.
Also pull to Lomondu Mabena.
Bata. Can't accuse them of not being involved now, can we? They are watching every piece of skill, every piece of strength shown, and every attempted goal in the last shot taken by Siposake Bata. Man whom I'm told last year won man of the match in just about every match he played on. Bata, by the way. They nicknamed him Score. His thing is to find the back of the net. 3 years now he's been with the team. Is another one of those that hail from Lady Smith.
He has been the pillar of this mighty best team, and every time he's on the ball, everybody's on the road, and that shows how much they trust him, even the players and the technical staff. He just needs to lift up his game and make sure that his teammates, they follow suit.
Nice build up here from SSU. And I don't mean SuperSport United, I mean Soweto Super United. In this case, it all breaks down going into that final third then as they go in search of Manigela.
Very interesting about both teams. They play similar style of football. And also it will be very key who has the final touch, taking into account that the pitch is bumpy. So they need to improvise and make sure that they play one over the top, hoping for a one bounce and then with the strikers to finish. But I mean, Mabena, what more will you want in this beautiful game of football?
Of course, there's tournaments like this that have made men who, for one, played in the CAF Champions League in the group stages with Township Rollers, Kwama.
Yes.
Samatariani, he's out playing in the Champions League now, famous from tournaments like these sort of amateur tournaments from out in the East Rand and here in the Maimane Alfred Phiri Games, as well as out in Tebisa as well.
He also played in this tournament. Unfortunately, they were knocked in the last 8. But he is the force of attraction around Gomor. Everyone, when you speak about Maimane Phiri tournament or games, they want to see Squama. They want to see the flavor, the classic football that is associated with Epukwini. Unfortunately, today, it's in a different level. So they need to have a one notch up in terms of their performance.
Nice touches again involving Manigela. Numbers getting forward for the men in blues. Manigela can't quite take it in his stride. Then will be kept alive here by Shabalala. Oh, beautiful number 9 play. They are using their number 9 as the traditional go-to man and playing with your back to goal and holding it up the Philman Masinga style from back in the day.
Very interesting to see such kind of formation being utilized at an amateur level. What more if you come to a professional setup where everything, the resources and the coaching is there, then it shows that there is potential out there in these players. They just need to be nurtured in the right direction.
Bongeni Sibisi, the man between the sticks for Mighty Birds. They call him Fino because he's a fine goalkeeper, I'm told. 3 times with the squad as the Shaggy Shapet, the skills come out in the middle of the field here.
They call him Professor Mahazen. He knows whenever I put his foot on the ball, everyone stand up. Bambi Zonchweba, Abanyeba to Professor Mahazen. It's up to you which name you want to use, my Ben.
My H.
My H.
Is another name they call him by. Formerly with Zola All-Stars. 1 year he's been with this team now. Oh, a few players in this Soweto Super United squad that will also represent Zola All-Stars. H is one of them. Hazel. Thokozani Mthembu wearing the number 5 in his back, another as I played for Zola All-Stars. Let's not forget the man they call Dingo, wearing the number 4. Umvilagazi, Bumelelo. Another that represents Zola All-Stars. Now, Soweto outfit again, looking to find a bit of joy, pushing forward here. Maybe weren't the quickest to settle, but they certainly do look good for their money, and always bouncing the ball off the big striker. Then is always looking to bring others into it, impressively so. All hands on deck now for the Mighty Birds. Bata's touch won't get much distance.
The strategy has worked for them, Maimane, hence you have seen whenever the ball is pumped to the number 9, you can see there's always that man running and also one coming in front. But Mtutu Seli there, unfortunately, wanted to, but Tucci is coming from behind and giving him a nudge. Another free kick in front of the 18-yard. They just need to be careful. Shiba, I see him on the ball. He might face his chances from this range.
No, the scoreline in this final. Could this be the breakthrough moment? Wall's done his job.
They have to keep on trying, Maimane. They just need to elevate that ball a little bit higher to pass the wall. Now they always track the wall, and surely the wall has done it far much better this time around. They are not shivering, they are not moving, they are standing firm. 175k Maimane at stake.
It's a lot to play for.
Absolutely.
And not just that, there's more to it, of course, than just the money. It's the bragging rights, it's your name as a part of folklore history. Previous winners. And then Bruntfisher Eagles and Sun City Eagles going back to 2015. They, of course, were coached by Jabulani Mendu, that being the Sun City Classic. Jabulani Mendu, of course, present here today. He was his normal Jabulani Mendu self with all the jokes and chirping and so on. Kept an eye out to the far side. Kobe isolated the man. Now we'll look to take a toke off him if he can. Solid work defensively then by Bogateli.
He had to make sure that he keeps him on his pocket. Kalawa Jasmine, when he's on top, is untouchable. They make to make sure that he doesn't turn, he doesn't bring it up for Mighty Birds.
Thokozani with yet another touch. A man from Zola, known as Zing, operating that left back position. Formerly played for Soweto All-Stars.
That's the good thing about Soweto Super United, because most of them, they've played together with Soweto All-Stars, and then the camaraderie within the players makes them to stand strong and able to challenge for each and every match they've played.
Pressure on the defense. In the end, they handle the pressure well and leading it all the way back then to Clive Kumeta. 25-year-old from Naledi is Clive Kumeta. Also plays for JDR. known as Dida, named after the Brazilian goalkeeper. Some work may be coming Dida's way here, but for some good work defensively in protecting him.
I was very impressed with him so far. The tournament started. This distribution, he commands the defense, and also he's a good communicator and a motivator to his defense. I mean, the way he distributes the ball, Mabena, whenever he has the ball, the likes of Shiba, the likes of Ngabadeli, they're always on their back to know that it will reach there. Similarities to what Itumele Nkune does for Kaizer Chiefs.
Nicely done in midfield here. SSU. Oh, look for the ball over the top. It wasn't a bad ball at all. Couldn't quite take it in his stride then, and you could read from his body language off camera that he expected to take it in his stride and disappointed with himself. Nice touches on the far side here. And the turn to go with it. It's Khope, weighing the 7 on his back.
That's Kalawa Jasmine. And Nanana, the short man in the middle of the park. Can you imagine being shot in the middle of the park? Sometimes the ball bypasses you, but he's very strong also. He can able to protect the ball. Hence, you see the likes of Mtutuzeli. They have to make sure that they give him a little bit of a nudge to move him away from the ball.
Might be very short, Nanana, as you do say, but very stocky as well, as a strong center of gravity.
It reminds me the likes of John Moeti.
Yes.
Very strong, and the late Clifford Maliko. They were diminutive midfielders, but very strong on the ball, able to command that midfield, irrespective of their height.
Of course, for those of you that aren't in the know, Karawa Jasmine, the record label that gave us greats, run by Don Laka, the jazz musician, the jazz greats of this country, gave us Boom Shaga, Brothers of Peace, so many other legendary Kwaito acts.
That's Oskido at his best.
Bruce. So we got Tiki Tiki from Tiki Tiki Yo, coming from the Duma Silela era.
Yes.
Also, Kalawa Jasmine, it's a lot that goes hand in hand with the musical side of things, and of course the amateur football world. Maybe I should say the cultural side of things. How dare I forget Makhil? I'm talking on Kalawa Jasmine, Dr. Makhil.
The rapper. The rapper.
Yeah.
Those were interesting music, and those were in our times, Mabena. And we grew up to such music, hence we could associate it with the Dr. Makheu and also the likes of Trompies.
By the way, for any youngsters that aren't in the know, the cultural coming together of the Kwaito groups and the football world is such that Dr. Kumalo even went on to release a CD with Bob Mapena back in the day.
Yes, I still remember. And also Benny McCarthy.
Benny McCarthy and TKZ.
Yes, with TKZ in Dr. the 18 area.
Yeah, Dr. Kumalo and Tebe as well. Top dog, Liba Bema.
Those were the days, Mabena.
Steve Likolea and
yes.
Jabu Kule involved as well.
Yes.
Chasing number 10 with the Steve Likolea song.
And Mabalana.
Corner.
Those were interesting times, Mabena, in the music industry that could be associated with football. And we need to have such, as we have seen that the entertainment industry is a huge industry. It needs all the stars to come up together and bring up the masses together. When we sing with one voice, everything goes well in one direction.
Good movement. And behind that defense, that's a good ball. Very well defended on that occasion by Mbilo Kumalo. They were looking very good for their money then, SSU in Soweto Super United.
This has been their strength, with the fullbacks being involved, overlapping and giving decent crosses. I mean, it was a difficult ball to play, take into account that the pitch is bouncing. But what a time he has taken from mighty best defender.
fact, when one speaks of the Kwaito world or the musical world and the football world, can't forget TJ Clio and Babam Teto back in the day.
Can you imagine that combination?
Inzwinger, keepers come for it. Yeah, he was in trouble.
He needs to be commanding whenever he comes out, as he's a short fellow. And with the tall defenders in front of him, he needs to know that if he comes out, he's going to get the ball. If not, he'd rather stay in his line to make sure that he gives his defenders chance to defend it.
Keep in mind, at the end of 90 minutes here, if there is no outright winner, we will go straight to a penalty shootout.
The lottery.
Took the FIFA World Cup out last year to remind me how much I enjoy watching penalty shootouts. It's different when you're watching than when you're working as a commentator, because you tend to feel what the players are going through as a commentator and try and interpret that and put that out there.
It's a range of emotions, Maimane. It's either yes or no. So you just need to make sure that you pick up your spot and just give some much power behind the ball, or else a cheeky penalty might send you home.
A cheeky one might get you in trouble as well here. Set piece one for the late challenge. The victim, Kagisho Mashilwani, known as Siga, off of Siga Leke.
That's Afama for Katiso.
So he cuts. Cut you. Comfortable for the goalkeeper. In fact, very well dealt with in the air on that occasion. His distribution isn't bad at all. Yeah, it's gotten them going forward. Looking for the lead before the half-time break. The flag's up offside.
Cleverly done by Mighty-based defenders as Shiba was on the run. But also when you look, whenever Shiba has the ball, they always double up against him because they know the strength and the dangers that he possesses. So you could see these boys, they have studied their opponents. They know where the strength is. And that it's giving them an edge against them, because so far so good for Mighty-based. As long as they take this game to halftime with 0-0, their confidence will rise up, as they've been familiar with the crowd who were booing them earlier on when they get into the field.
Nice touch out on their far side. Shiva amongst those involved, of course, on the left side of all the attacks for the Soweto Super United squad. To play in the hold-up, lovely movement of the ball, yeah. Keeper and defender get it wrong! And from a long way out, the bounce takes it over, and somewhat wide of goal then. Terribly unlucky for Sugazi. Look good for goal number 7 on that occasion, and they're already celebrating out in the stands.
Then you come to the bumpy pitch. Everything done properly by Shoots over the top. The keeper not clearing very well, but for Sukazi did everything best. But unfortunately, the two patches that we see, the patches that we see in the field, came into roll whereby they had a one bounce and then it's over, and he was celebrating.
He was already off celebrating.
Wow.
Looking for goal number 7, top goal scorer in this year's tournament. Working hard out on that far side as he is called for the foul. Everything right about that attempt. What worked against him was the surface, in that it hits the gravel part of the surface, which is harder and will bounce further up than what the situation could be on grass. That was the only thing, and that's just about inches in luck.
In fact, Gumede was very lucky in goals for Soweto Super United, because that was a howler of a goal. In fact, he just passed it to Sukazi, and Sukazi just said thank you, but unfortunately the bumpy patch had to come into effect, and that is the difference between these two teams up to so far.
again, it wasn't just about Kumete. I felt the defender also rushing in on the goalkeeper, didn't back up and allow him the comfortability of getting it clear. So in the end, it was about who wanted it the most between the two. Kumete was persistent, stayed on, but because he almost had to compete with his own teammate, one could argue it affected the quality of his clearance.
I think the instruction never came earlier, as Shabalala was trying to clear as the last line of defense. But when you say keeper, everyone must move, because if he doesn't move, you hit everything that is in front of you as a keeper. Or if you're not coming, you just stay in your ball. But that was a clever play from Gumed. Unfortunately, with the pass to Sukazi, it was a manna from heaven, say, Tata.
Yeah, you hit everything in front of you. The problem was he hit Sukazi with a clearance. And Sukazi very nearly said thank you very much. In fact, he started to say thank you with his celebration. Good hard running here on this near side, both on the attacking and defensive end. Solid work. The commitment we've seen from both these sides, though. You can say what you want about the amateur football and the levels that we're used to, let's say, watching when we watch professional, and the difference between that and this level here. But we've seen committed sides here. No one's holding back. It's a deserved 0-0 scoreline where everybody's giving as good as they're getting, really.
You cannot falter the commitment from the players. And the good thing about them is that the teamwork. We thought maybe being live on SuperSport, it might have an effect. But look, they're not holding back. They're giving everything they have. The unfortunate part about this game is that there's no goals, Mabena. We have seen a good play, patches of play from both teams. And also the defense, we need to commend them. Both sets of defense, they've defended well so far.
There you have it, right on the jersey front, 2018 finals. And again, you look around the field and you will note the different sponsors that are playing a part in the growth of the Maimane Alfred Phiri Games here. And the community in itself, it's not about the cameras and the fact that James Mayinga and company are here today. This is generally what it's like out here.
And when you compare it to the PSL standards, you can see the billboards are almost similar to what then they show the professionalism of the Maimane Phiri Games. It's up to notch with the PSL standard, and then that we need to commend him for putting the spade work behind everything. But also, the small businesses around Alexandra, they benefit a lot, as most of the people within Gauteng, they descend to Alexandra to try and witness this 18th edition of the MAP Games.
So it starts off with the round of 16s, down to the quarterfinals, semi-finals, and then the finals. And as far as the under-13s, this year's champions are the Alex Royal Tigers, the under-16 champions, Alex Royal Tigers as well. Under-17 champions are the M Mighty Heroes, the under-20 champions are the Blue Birds. So there you have it. It goes all the way down to under-13, under-16, under-17, under-20. There's a women's edition as well. And of course, there's the main course, which we are enjoying right now in the Open Men's Tournament.
I also heard him talk about the Golf Day, which will be happening around November. It shows that they are growing in drips and bounds. And the only thing that we need to give them is credit for staging up such games. Lovely
work defensively then. They looked in trouble for just a moment, the Mighty Birds, but again, they have been able to be stubborn when SSU have asked questions of them. The Super United squad from Soweto. Shiba, the man they're looking for out on that far side, it's overcooked. The ball in search of Tiki. Space, time, and numbers pushing forward for the men in blue. 1 minute added on to the first 45. The early ball and the bounce. A favourable one here for Soweto Super United. Could be a look at goal here. Late in the first half, too many touches.
Just strike it at once. When you have that little opening, you just have to turn it on, because everyone, the keeper is incited by the cluster of defense, but unfortunately he wanted to walk the ball into the net.
There you have it. End of the first half where there's no separating the mighty birds of Soweto Super United. Yeah, a first half that's been full of huffing and puffing, but no blowing down of the defensive walls that are, of course, protecting both goalkeepers in Mr. Mongeni and Kumete. Lively football, a lively crowd, and we hope you at home are enjoying the very best of grassroots football in the way of an amateur tournament that's growing in leaps and bounds now. That's the 18th edition of the Maimane Alfred Phiri Games here. There's absolutely no separating these two sides here. The best chance of the game coming the way of the Mighty Birds. Late in that first half, it was a shot that bounced over the bar then from Sugazi, the tournament goal scorer. Terribly unlucky in the latter stages of what has been an exciting first half. The scoreline, 0-0. Another 45 to go, and penalties if need be.
Final, it's been here at the Alexandra Stadium. We've seen Amatamaya, we've seen Amavulavala, we've seen Amashigobo, but one thing we haven't seen, or maybe more than one, that is a goal. Usugazi came close in the 39th minute, but that wasn't the case. As it stands at the end of the first stanza, is Soweto Super United 0 and the Mighty Birds as Asemnambiti 0 here at the Alexandra Stadium.
Welcome back to the final of the 18th edition of the Maimane Alfred Phiri Games out in Alexandria. And it's, well, Mighty Birds up against Soweto Super United. 0-0 the scoreline. We are in the township of Alexandria, the home of one Dr. Urban Khoza, the home of Maimane Phiri, the home of a great contributor to South African football in the way of Sheikhs Kungwani and many others that have come from this part of the world, of course, to grace the beautifully South African game.
It's been rich with talent, Mabena, from television, from music, football, and also nation builders. You have the names you have mentioned. Alex has been top-notch.
Politically, culturally,
yes,
in the sports world, there's a part of the country, of course, that tells quite a story of the social struggles of South Africa, the sporting advancements of South Africa, and of course the Maimane Phiri Games, a huge part of the social sporting calendar of this part of the world. Of course, they all look forward to it year after year. This year, you're all the champions, of course, is a part of the festivities, bringing it to you wherever you may be on this continent, and bringing you down to why we call it Diski, hence the Super Diski. Diski is what is called in the townships, of course, when you play it the township way, and it's expressive, it's grassroots, and it's the beginnings of many a great footballing careers that have gone on to even don the South African jersey. Now, Mighty Birds get the second half underway. They will attack to the right of your picture, whilst the SSU, Soweto Super United outfit, will attack to the left. First-time finalists, so we'll have a first-time winner. We've never had a champion come back to defend the championship in this tournament.
Oh yes, Mabena, it's true. We never had the defending champion coming to defend. And also we never had a team from Alexander for the past 4 years who has gone into the final. We have seen yesterday Glentos, they were nearly there, but unfortunately they were knocked out by Mighty Birds.
In the way of Alexander, of course, what they will be more than happy for is the Alex Royal Tigers. In the way of this 2018 edition, they won the under-13 and the under-16 versions of this tournament this year, so Alex does have some joy in that regard.
They did also, but you would love to see one of the teams from Alex to lift up this trophy, which has been, the games have been started here. But also the robust challenges that are creeping in the game. It shows the determination from the players. They just need to play in the fair play bracket, not to injure one another, but to play it in a form of friendship.
Competitive friendship.
Yes.
And of course the will to win, as nobody would know better than you, James, is coupled with a physicality that means dominance in your department, in your section of the field, physically and otherwise. Early ball in here, the bounce inside the 18 will see the Mighty Birds able to play it out, or at least try to. So, no changes to the starting 11s we saw at the beginning of the final here. Also worth noting that with the ball played in and the touch on that far post may have been a handball, or in fact, I do suspect it was a handball, but the conditions have changed somewhat here. During the day it was a nice warm afternoon where you could walk around with a shirt on, but as we've gone into nighttime, we are reminded that it is winter, as it's gotten very chilly out in Alexandra.
It is very chilly out there, Maimane, and for these players, they need to be on motion to get warmer, or else if they stay, they might be stagnant for that matter. But look, football, for the love of football, you brace off the cold and come and witness the beautiful games of Maimane Phiri.
Matondo. You can tell it's gotten a bit colder with Matondo now wearing the long sleeves under his kit. He wasn't wearing the long sleeve under the kit in the first half. Testament of the chilly conditions here in the night time.
As for Mthokozisi, they knew that if the Matondo turns, there will be trouble. But also, what is good about amateur football is that your Under Armour mustn't be of the same color with the shirt as it compared to the professional setup.
Nicely done in dealing with that aerial ball then by Gumete. He's been outstanding in that regard. His distribution, looking to get the men in blue going forward here. Very quick to get numbers over that halfway line. The ball forward is the recipient of a lovely first touch. And the setup! Oh, what a strike! It's just wide. It was everything right from defense to attack. And how close to the opener. How that deserved to be the opener.
You just have to marvel the play, Maimane. It was a long ball from Mthokozisi, and also the touch, the first touch, class, but the layoff for Shiba, that was excellent. That's cleverness. That's where you see the cleverness of the players, taking into account that the pitch is bumpy, the improvisation, and also the eagerness to get into the end of that ball. That's what drives Shiba. But look, what a nice move from SSU.
Wasn't just about the layoff, there was also the little skip in there, as we'll call it in Disky terms.
But he Chindalendo.
Yeah, when you're allowed to run on. Now, ball across again. Very impressed with how Gumete has dealt with the aerial balls coming into that box.
Comfortably so, Maimane. He's commanding. He knows, playing for JDR, who campaigns in the ABC Mtsipe Gauteng League. It shows that he has some experience, and it's turning it on for Soweto Super United.
Mentioned it earlier, it's from Naledi, the Sotho-speaking part of Soweto. Lovely work being done in the middle of the park here by Mbata as he eliminates a few. Mbata still getting stuck in. All over. Nosbele in the end. Shiba. Nosbele among those back to win it back and get them going forward here.
Very interesting about this game, Maimane, starting to open up in the second half. They know that they cannot afford. But as for Matondo, the body weight, it always makes sure that he gets an ever advantage over his opponent. And this is what gives problems to the SSU defense. Every time he has the ball, they have to double up and make sure that they neutralize him.
Seniors Trophy in your picture just a moment ago. That is what they're playing for, with the gold medals that go with that. Jemba is the nickname that goes to the man wearing the number 3, the captain of the Soweto Super United side from Meadowlands originally. Anani. Giving each other precious little time on the ball here. You are being hounded every step of the way here as Mbata now picks up, looking for movement here on this near side. It's positive from Nango. Showed his strength and determination on a good few occasions in that first half, Nango.
This time around, Shiba won the battle. As we've seen, Lango in the first half was very strong, but this time around, Shiba used his experience in the professional ranks to make sure that he guides that ball to the touchline. But also, the midfield battle between Nana, Ntogozisi and Professor Mahezel is very tense in the middle of the park. They don't allow each other space to spray those marvelous passes we've seen in the entire tournament.
Good movement, good vision, determined defensive work. Well, simply put, and it goes all the way down to amateur football, your first responsibility in football is to try and beat the man ahead of you. Consistently.
For sure.
And you mentioned the midfield battles. Yes, this ball is played into the box and dealt with by Mighty Bears, but it's difficult to find a department where one person is dominating an individual battle between two players. It sways this way and that, really. It
has its own moments. So hence, whenever you get that moment, you need to utilize it to the better for your team. Now, once you don't utilize that and the other one gets an edge over you, it might create a goal from there and you might kick your heels and say, ish, I wish I could have done so in the earlier chance. Hence, we've seen they've cancelled each other out. And now we need to see the individual brilliance from the players, like the likes of Shiba, the likes of Kalawami, to turn it on and make sure that they minus their opponents.
Chabalala it is with the ball forward. Tatazonke then with the wayward ball, General Tatazonke they call him, and immediately it's Mighty Bears looking to take advantage then. Anyway, we'll do with the long ball forward. So, change will be made here, and it's Soweto Super United that will make the first change of the evening, and it's a familiar face, and one that brings the sort of skills that one can identify very quickly as Tiski in Masugu, the former Black Leopards Pirates man that comes on here. A few whistles coming from out in the stands in anticipation from what he could bring.
They know they'll be treated to the dribbling wizard skills and elevations that will always has been a darling to the Kasi flavor. The likes of Samantariane have done that, and also Masuku, whenever he plays this tournament, he always turn it on with his dazzling skills.
Here is Masuku, first touch, lost out here on this near side. Contributes to the defensive end that sees SSU getting themselves a goal kick. Does Masuku frustrating. Kobe.
They know the dangers of Kalawaje. I call them Kalawajesmi. Hence they double up and make sure that he doesn't have a room to maneuver. But it will be interesting to see how Masuku unfolds in this game.
From Kwamashu out in Springs, man also known as Ginger, in the number 7. Also plays for Africa All Stars. Man whom I'm told came up to the team to ask if he could join the Mighty Birds outfits.
Can you imagine such player coming in to say, I'm offering my service to you, I'm of quality.
There he is with the ball down the middle, now spread out wide. Yeah, it's looking good here with Bartas ball in, defended on the near post.
At the nick of time, he had to make sure that he cut that supply, or else it was heading straight to Sukasi, who was edging in the last ball.
Beginning to take over Ginger, Okalawa Jasmine, as you say, in the way of the midfield battle here and the creativity. Here's Masogu looking for the early release going forward here. Taking his time about things here before moving it upfield, hoping for that flick on. Figo doing ever so well in those attacking positions with the flick on to bringing others into it. Lovely turnout. Big social event this. Masugu, strong, skillful, experienced. Masugu still 2 on him. And of course, coming out top in the battle is the ever impressive Nangu. Touches straight down the middle, long way going for the Soweto outfit here as they try their luck with the ball straight down the middle. They do vary their games at times. They will at times build going forward and then they'll go the direct route, looking for the number 9, of course, to try and bring others into it. That's lovely skill. Strength as well, straight down the middle. Man eliminated. There's the opening! Clips it! Bang! Beautifully done, right from the back end is Maimane. SSU take the lead from a true moment of brilliance in the build-up, the work straight down the middle, the elimination of numbers, and of course the final strike then sees Maimane giving it to them in proper style.
We talked about the skill of Professor Mahazel in the middle of the park, doing 360 to 10. But the pass and the skill from Samanena to elevate. I mean, what a turn from the young man who struck it powerfully so. But the skill from Professor Mahazel in the middle of the park sums it up for Gauteng Super United.
They call him Sabotage. Also plays for Soweto Stars. Sabotages Mighty Birds defense with a beautiful goal, a piece of individual brilliance. Uniana on the hour mark. Soweto Super United lead by 1. both these sides came out pumped up for the second half here when they were giving as good as they're getting. Masuku here on this near side.
They turn it on, Mabena. They had to make sure that they win that midfield battle. And Professor Mahazen, this time around, he said, I'm going to utilize. But the touch that made him to turn 360, it was very geniusly done so. But also the pass, we call it the champagne pass. And then Sabotage said, thank you.
Sabotage. Strength. Well, it's a goal befitting a final. It really is a goal that befits a final. That, in the way it was created, the assist, beautiful. The goal itself, masterful. And it's just what this game needed with 30 minutes to go.
We spoke about individual brilliance, and this time around is the one that are able to open up the defense of Mighty Bates. And by doing so, it was one of well-orchestrated goals. Take into account, it took only two people. That's Professor Mahazen in the middle of the park. You know, when you're in the center second, you just will have to move along the arc of the second. And that's what enabled him to turn and give a nice pass to Sabotage, who lived up to his name and make sure that he sabotaged the Mighty Bates defense.
Masuku. My H. Sabotage. Good movement to that far side. Sabotage provides movement on the near side, just offside in the end.
I think that was a narrow offside. But you could see that both sets of players, they want to play the ball behind the defense, turn that defense. And that's the best way to attack. Turn that defense. They are vulnerable whenever they're facing their post. And this is what SSU is doing, most especially in Togo season. Have been trying to play that ball for so many times in the first half. It couldn't get it right. But once they get it right, I'm telling you, there will be a lot of trouble.
Time, space for the shots. Not quite the accuracy from range they were hoping for. The midfield battle now, that was so difficult to see a clear-cut winner in that first half, is being dominated by the men in blue. You speak about Mahazen. He is definitely doing his thing in the middle of the park here, and the stronger he gets, the more we see the likes of Sabotage now getting into good areas where they can hurt their opponents.
Very interesting is that Shiba has dropped now into the middle of in the second, and hence they adding numbers, and then it becomes they can't deal with it Mighty Bates. We have Nana, who's very short, and also take into account that they're opening the spaces within them because they're trying to chase the game. So that's where SSU is getting more advantage.
That's showing the reason why the decision went with United then, Soweto Super United. They have to dig deep now to Sugazi and company in the attacking areas here for Mighty Birds, keeping in mind that they do have that powerful weapon called Sugazi, top goal scorer coming into this game. Sabotage on that far side, out-muscled. That's good, solid defensive work then.
The unfortunate part about Mighty Bates, they came with a strong defense. For them to turn that defense into attack, it will be very difficult, as they will need the wing backs. But the wing backs have double trouble with Shiva on the right-hand side and Masuk on the left. So surely they won't be moving up, and it will force that midfield battle also to turn up for both sets of players.
Sbusiso Nganyani, the man who won the challenge out on that far side, known as Mr. There is Maimane Phiri. For many of us as kids at the time, teenagers, our first glimpses of him on the field was representing Bafana Bafana. Good work to keep it alive. Gordon is well met defensively on that occasion by Maisela.
Unbelievable scenes at Alex Stadium, Maimane.
Well, you know, he's hard lies from the look on his face. And it goes with the losing side. If what I saw in the build-up to this match was anything to go by here for Sir Gentlemen, Mighty Bears, man. Masugu.
They're keeping it easy now, Soweto Super United. They want to draw out Mighty Bears because they've been stuck at the back. So hence they have to play it back. But now, it's all about the intelligence of Mighty Bears players to elevate that defense block which Soweto United have used in the second half.
3 inside the box, a 4th arriving, plenty back defending, a whole host of men back defending, amongst them is Shiva, of course. You mentioned he dropped back into midfield and is playing his part in contributing to the overall picture.
That's the experience he brings into this Soweto Super United team. As you can see that the dangers lies within the midfield, so they had to add numbers in the middle of the park. But that was a dangerous tackle against Thokozisi.
In this case, it's Thokozani Mthembu who's taking the hit out on that far side. They call him Washkosh. Also plays for Zola All-Stars. 1 year he's been with this team.
He's a workaholic. He has been running since from the first minute of the first half. Up until now, it shows that he has the engine, he has the legs. His physical condition is up to notch.
That stage of the game in the final where once you go beyond the 1 hour mark, if there is a leading side, it means challenges of this nature begin to come in with men getting desperate and yellow cards begin to come out.
That's a desperate tackle from the Mighty Bears players, but also they need to be careful because of they're chasing the game. They don't want to be one-man short in doing so. So they have to structure it in a way that there's still 11 men inside and able to unlock that Soweto Super United team.
In fact, I beg your pardon, it's Balak that was hacked down out on the far side then in Nosbela.
I'm not surprised by the work ethic. Yeah. He has similarities of the senior Balak with the work ethic because he's a workhorse. He can run from box to box.
The World Cup of amateur football is what they call it, and Michael Balak, the former German international, has had his fair bit to say in his contribution to the disappointment of the former world champions in Germany and their first round exit. He amongst those to have given his comments as to Joachim Low and his side, the disappointments they faced. But none in Alex will be thinking that far with their football for the time being. It's all about what's happening here at the Alexandra Stadium.
Absolutely, Mabena, and also we need to take into account that football changes. There's no guarantees about football, and sentiments don't ever play football. It's all about what you can give in the 90 minutes. You've seen the likes of Mexico surprising the reigning champions Germany by then in the group stages. No one thought Mexico will ever beat Germany, but in Russia they did it in style, for that matter.
I know a group of wise men that didn't think Russia were going to get out the group stages. A whole group of wise men Give us their thoughts every Thursday.
Even me, I never gave Russia any chance, but look, they surprised everyone as hosts, and that's good for football.
Alex is lekker. Maps wire.
That's Maimane Phiri Games.
Yeah.
The most loved son of Alexander. The most decorated player of Alexander. Maimane Alfred Phiri. What a gentleman.
The birthplace of Dr. Urban Koza, if memory serves me right?
Yes. During the apartheid era, the likes of the great icon Nelson Mandela used to hover around Alexander.
Goal scorer seems to be the man that's picked up the injury. Mentioned the challenges will be coming in thick and fast now, between now and the end of this game, and it's evident in the number of times the game is now being brought to a stop, not because of men eating away at time, no, they're actually being hurt by some of the challenges and the sheer commitment and the will to win that we are seeing out there.
There's always casualties whenever there is war, and he's one of them, unfortunately, as a goal scorer, but he will be happy to see this match end at this right in time, as this goal will stand out to the crown champions.
Anana? Ball over the top, and SSU defense will be asked questions of. Keep in mind there's 10 of them on the field for the time being. The goal scorer, of course, is still getting treatment outside of the field. Mighty Birds will be making a change in the very near future. In the meantime, that's lovely play here on this near side. He has worked extremely hard. One of the most impressive players out on that field for me here today. The pick number 9, the striker.
That's what is expected from him as a number 9. You need to work hard for your team to make sure that you give them reference, spearhead the attack, and able to connect them with a string of passes that they always come forward.
Now, many of these young men will be very conscious of the fact that this game will be televised. That there are tournaments in the past where the games may not have been televised, but names were picked here that went on to become household names in South Africa. So they'll be aware of the opportunity that presents itself to them with a hearty showing in the final, that you never know who's watching. There could be a Jomosono out in the stands, there could be a Jabulani Mendu up in the stands, there could be someone that could change your life depending on the performance you do put forward on a day like today.
That's the world of champions, Mabena. When they descend into your neighborhood, it changes lives. And today we've seen these young men. There's a lot of graduates from this tournament that have gone and make it in the PSL, and also donning the Bafana jersey. Surely, out of the set of players that I've seen here, there's plenty of them that deserve that chance in the PSL or in the NFT.
By the way, Munigela, the goal scorer, won't be coming back. He's been substituted. Masugu working hard here on this near side to try and keep things moving, and oh my, he may be on the other side of 30. They are certainly looking to drain the last bit of youth that's left in him.
Whenever he has the ball, the crowd, they anticipate the dribbling skills and all that, hence they stand up. But also for him, he's been cautious, taking into account that there's only a slender lead of 1-0. So anything he does silly, it might result in a goal against them.
He's got quality in the dead ball. Does Masugu ball in, dealt with it, followed up by a lovely little touch. It was intended to be. In the end, it's not the case. It's trouble for SSU defensively. Will they concede the corner, or will it be a throw-in that they have to concede? Throw-in it is in the end. That's why it's defending.
The captain, fantastic, have to marshal his defense into perfection. And with Sukazi lacking, no chances is supposed to be taken.
Goalkeeper came for a moment, was in no man's land and had to backtrack. Fortunately for him, there was no touch in the middle of the box then, with the ball played in.
I would say this is the second mistake that he has done since with the first half, that he gave Sukazi the chance, and now But since from there has been solid, has been given the Soweto Super United that confidence going forward, knowing that your last line of defense is up to his game.
That's Tele, the coach. Of SSU. Lovely play. Minus the final product, but nothing wrong with the individual bits then in trying to make something happen for a tireless striker. Everybody's favorite is a good number 9 that the team can play around.
But also you need to marvel the touch, the turn, and everything. As a striker, sometimes you need to fancy your chances from range. You'll never know.
Tell you what, he certainly does keep that back central defensive partnership very busy with his movement. He's lively, he's great at holding it up, he's great at the one touch. He can run with it, he can play with his back to goal.
And those are characteristics of a typical or ordinary number 9. That's what is expected, playing with your back against goal, able to bring in the other players, and also holding the ball very well, shielding off from the other defenders.
Nana keeps it moving. There's positive movement out on that far side. Ball angled in towards Makungo. Mentioned him at the start of the broadcast as the man you might recognize probably with Cosmos. Chance of referee already coming out from the stands. Then there's the chances are getting fewer and fewer in front of goal here. It should be said for mighty Birds side. Yeah, they're trying their luck from further and further out. A sign of frustration, maybe.
It is Maimane, and also they're not sending too many players going forward. Hence, you have seen these chances. They don't have any option except Sukazi, who has been bottled up. You need to give credit to Soweto Super United. They've reverted into a 4-4-1 system whereby they congest the midfield to make sure that they don't give them any ample space to maneuver.
Because any coach and any professional you might spend time with will tell you about the importance and the ability to get the ball into the box, and the importance of that ability. Right now that's been taken away from Mighty Birds, and they're struggling at trying to get it into the box. Whilst Masugu wins the corner here on this near side, it will present a chance to get the ball into the box, which is vital, of course. That's Bele. In fact, the man that won that corner here is Masugu, to be exact. Flying in for the challenges still. That's bad, protecting it. Masugu. Always outnumbered Masugu.
They know the dangers of Masugu one-on-one, hence they have to double up at the corner. But credit must be given to both teams. They've been playing constructive football since from the first minute of the first half up until now. It shows that at amateur level, if the talent has been nurtured in the right direction, we might unearth talent that have been seen before.
Early ball forward in by Tamaxo's involved in midfield now. Could be a chance here. Stuck under his feet and in the end dealt with defensively then. But there was a moment there for Mighty Birds and unfortunately for them it got stuck under Mkhize's feet then. Can play as a striker or as a right winger. Mkhize in off the bench known as Kabezela by some.
If there's no keeper's call as a defender, you need to clear your lines, or else you might cause a mistake whereby there will be miscommunication and the striker can sneak in. With the likes of Sukazi waiting for that chance, you don't have to mess around. Batini, Ikombe now peke call, a grandstand.
Well, for those that left home on midday when it was still warm and may have forgotten their jerseys and jackets for the night time, it's one way to stay warm out of the stand, stay active, you know?
Absolutely, Mabena. It's chilly out there and the fans, they need to stand on their feet and make sure that they get themselves on by singing or dancing for that matter.
Nice hustle in the middle of the field. Then the ball in behind. That defense needs pace. Oh, it gets pace defensively. Top-notch pace. That
was clever defending as Shiba was looking from behind. You don't take chances from there. Try to make sure that you hit the line. But also good defending from the Mighty Pesa. They were just unlucky to concede such a goal. It was a classic goal, Mabena. You couldn't falter the defense from that side.
In need now the second goal to put this final to bed. The Soweto Super United outfit. Good running on this near side. Lovely ball to match the run. There's the opening. Oh, what a save. His best save of the match so far, but what a save then to keep the lead with the SSU. Kumede with his best moment of this match.
Good goalkeeping from Kumede at the right place at the but what a clever play from Sukas to unleash Madondo and a powerful shot, but Kumede stood firm and tried to make a save, which was, and it kept the Soweto Super United in the game.
The man from Ladysmith coming so close to finding the equalizer. He and his teammates have to settle for the corner, but before that corner can be taken, they will make a change. Richard Sitole is the man on here. Another from Ladysmith is Sitole. He's a man who usually plays backup to Mabaso, who has the number 20 on his back, known as Gaddafi. Solid challenge on the far side. see so many well-timed challenges here this evening. Defensively, if you are a defensive-minded type of soccer enthusiast or former player, no matter the level, you'll appreciate some of the defensive displays we've seen here today. Now, the opening from range and Nanana looking for the through ball then. It wasn't intended for the eventual recipients. There was a blind run being made from the backs from the far side.
Sukazi couldn't read it as he's supposed to play a dummy for that matter, but unfortunate for Nanana as that looked to be goal bound, the pass.
Goalkeeper. It's getting physical. They are upping the ante in the desire, of course, to find the equalizer. They've upped their game somewhat here by SSU, but they are being matched every step of the way defensively.
We need to commend the wing backs. They've done an excellent job in Kalawa. He has tried to make some step overs, but unfortunately he's tripping himself in the process. And then it's a credit for the Soweto Super United players. They'll say thank you to be our opponent, even though you're playing against your team. So surely it will be something that they'll be looking at with Masuku trying to turn it on.
Masuku! Again, there was cover defense. They always double team him. Whenever he gets on the ball, Masuku try to work hard to contribute defensively then after his cross was dealt with. On the turn, Mage. Players not quite on the same page out to that far side. Tabo Matebula, with the 7 on his back. Amongst those to have come on here for SSU. Now it's all about the men from Matati. Ball into the top of the box. The opening for Nanana possibly. No, denied that every step of the way. Lovely work defensively.
That's Professor Mahazel and also the captain, fantastic Shabalala at the back. They've been very solid.
That's a ball. That's beautifully done. Again, it'll be so easy to look to the flashier players for your man of the match here this evening. Many very well look to Makungo. As the ball is played in, keepers come out a long way and these 2 attempts hold on to it.
Gomede stood firm today, Mapena. He's the difference between Mighty Bates and Soweto Super United. This is what you want from your last line of defense, to stood firm and make sure that he keeps you in the game.
He's watching it live, but then he's listening to James Mayenga at the same time with the Walker. They are the champions, baby.
That's the beauty of World of Champions with the Walker at hand. You watch it live and also on Walker. You need to make sure that you double check the facts and everything.
You're like, baby, we want to go to the TV. Keeper smothers. Very good display from Commander. Yes, 1 or 2 errors here. The one that was almost most telling was towards the end of the first half, but other than that, loving with his dealing of the aerial balls in there, his timing of the line and so on. He shows a good reading of the game.
That comes with maturity, Mapena, more especially as a keeper at the amateur level, but also having campaigned for JDR in the ABC Mtsipe. It shows the difference in terms of how he outlines himself.
2 minutes added on to the 90. Every year we have a new champion. This year, the new champion looks as though it will be SSU. Soweto Super United working extremely hard. Soweto Super United collectively here. That's lovely work. Offside and then far side, so he can't necessarily release the ball, but that is stunning work by Shiba. Stunning.
He has worked hard for Soweto Super United today. He is able to defend and also to attack, and for such, it needs a lot of stamina.
Now they're floating them in. Munched up by Gumede. Quick with the movie.
Acrobatically so, Mabena. That's Gumede for you. He has stood firm today. I think for me, he deserves the man of the match. Sukazi tried to elevate, but unfortunately, Gumede at the right place at the right time. It was a nice drilled ball, and Gumede said, "Thank you. I want to show you that I'm a Spider-Man."
There's Gumede. There's Makungo. May not have scored, but my oh my, what a performance for number 9.
It is Mabena. Both sets of players, they deserve all the accolades, but the goalkeeper, for me, he deserves it.
Champions, winners of the 18th edition of the Maimane Alfred Phiri Games. It's SSU, Soweto Super United. All they needed was one goal, and my goodness, when it came, it was a stunning goal. Brilliant in how it was created, masterclass in how it was finished. But all round, defensively, they were on the money. Midfield, they worked extremely hard. After the attack, Maimane was something else, operating as the number 9, working for the team.
This is what we define team. Together, effort achieves more. And that's what Soweto Super United have shown today. With the likes of Gumede shining, make sure that as the last line of defense, I keep you in the team. But wow. What a performance from Mahazen in the middle of the park. Shabalala as the captain. Also Masuku came in handy. And Shiba, they did all the dirty work. They worked as a team. But also number 9. Makungu. What more will you want from a typical number 9? This is one for the future. I hope that one of the PSL teams or the NFD teams are looking at the young man to give him a chance.
All in all, it's a tournament that grows by the year. It's one that we hope runs for all of eternity, really, in what it does for the community of Alexandria. It was participated by a ladies section, and also let's not forget the boys and the 13s and the 16s and such, and the champions in that regard. And then the Open, the senior tournament, which is what we brought you live in your World of Champions today. This very much what grassroots football is all about here. While some men will need consoling here in the way of this Mighty Bird side by the coach Kumalo, a former player, a semi-finalist last year, his assistant in Mr. Matondo, himself 3 years with the team as a player. And as semi-finalists, they will do their work in controlling the players, but the champions, very much Soweto Super United, win it by a goal to 0 over Mighty Birds.
Thank you so much to the awesome voices of SS Football. What a match here at the Alexandra Stadium. Soweto Super United walking away victorious thanks to that solitary goal from the man they call Usabotage. I'm joined by our man of the match. It is the Soweto Super United goalkeeper, Clive Gumede. He joins me. He walks away with this goodie bag from Men's International. Thank you so much for chatting to us. Congratulations, Clive. Let's just talk the match, your overall impression. I mean, the last few minutes were very nervy, but you
yeah, it wasn't an easy game, eh? It was a tough game, eh? A final, and my team needed me with the last minute, so I had to make sure that I pull off those saves because the team needed me well. Because throughout the tournament, I didn't make even a single save. They've been guiding me, so they needed me today. I had to pull out and make those saves for my team to win.
So what are you suggesting? Was you weren't tested throughout the tournament? You were tested namhlanje?
Yes, it was a collective effort because I have a good defense. Credit to the defense. Credit must go to the defense. Not only me, but then I'm happy that I got this award.
Thank you so much. Well done, Clive.
Yeah, well.
The Soweto Super United goalkeeper Clive Gumeta. I'm joined by his coach now, Coach Lwazi Cele. Speaking to him earlier on, and his response was ngihamba nayo. Thank you so much for chatting to us. Congratulations. Your impression of the match?
Ngasho ngibonga abafana bo i-compliment abayilethe kithi konke abakenzile ngiyabonga uNkulunkulu ngiyabonga angazi ngathini anginamagama.
Sitshela ukuthi utheni kubo nge-second half, because in the first half there were a few chances, they were getting in those boxes, but a final touch nje ngathi bikadileka, but in the second half it was a different story. So utheni kubo nge-half time?
Into engisho kubo half time ukuthi alawa bazodlala angeke sidlale thina dlala ne-strength enisaziyo. If nifuna ukudlala mali i-route 1 manganisebenzeli angadlala dlalani itikitaka lengiyazi ngayo mhlawumbe sothola igoli ngayo ndlela leyo.
In the last few minutes, I mean, Clive usebenzile, because there were moments where we thought they were going to come back in the game, but Clive just stood out.
Umthusile uClive umshintshela igame mara bekashiya ukuthi kwazi noma yini ngizoyenza right.
Thank you so much. Well done.
Thanks.
Coach Lwazi Cele of Soweto Super United, very elated with the victory. They are crowned the 2018 winners of the Maimane Alfred Phiri Games. Let's join our commentary team now for all the highlights.
Well, let's go back to the moment that matters. It starts in midfield, James, and I'll take it from there.
That's Professor Mahese at his best, but sabotage there, the shimmy and unleashing the shot. If the keeper was anticipating that he might be going on his right side, but he saw him off his line and then he said, you know what, I'm going to try you on your left. Let's see if you can catch me.
Sabotage. Waits for his moment to sabotage that defense, with my H coming in with his contribution in midfield, and what a goal for a final this. And you can see how much it means to the young man. It's not just another goal in another tournament.
And for there to be a winner, it's such a marvelous goal to watch, Mabena. You can repeat now and then the way my H have taken up the first touch from my H and the 10, and also the pass, able to allocate. I mean, there's not much that he would have done, but also the body check and the balance in turning. And Sabotage said, thank you. I'm going to unleash a powerful one.
That first touch from my H, was that the Neymar?
Yes, that was the Neymar first touch. What more will you want from him, Mabena?
Only noticed it now for the first time, but my oh my, what a play. It's deserving of everything it's gotten this team and may give them more going forward. Now, look at the numbers, James. What do they tell you?
If you see the fouls committed by Mighty Bet, you see how much they wanted, 15 compared to 10. And also shot on target for Soweto Super United, 1 against 3. And also attempts, 5 against 9. It shows how close it was this game.
Also, you look at the attacks here for Soweto. It was mostly attacks on the left side, especially after Masuku had come in. A lot of the attacks were focused on the left side, and as well down the middle. One shot, one goal, one champion in this one final. So, let's get ready to go into the presentation now, James. And, well, with every presentation, one has to go back to the men officiating the game. In Donald Mpaki, assisted by Tata Happy, as well as Bongani Mnguni and Musa Tlatwayo as the fourth official.
Well officiated game. Credit must be given to the refs. They were at the right time, at the right place for them, and also allow the play to flow, not every time issuing yellow cards. I think we've only seen one yellow card that was issued in this game.
The semi-finalists will be stepping forward now, and well, not semi-finalists, I beg your pardon, losing finalists is the term I'm looking for.
Yes.
Young men that would have traveled a long way here to come up with Mr. Carl Reddy of SA Clinics, Nathaniel Gomani of Umso Construction, Ramsey Musitedi, the general manager of MTN, and Marvin Mufakeng, the sales manager of Heineken, the dignitaries, of course, that are giving out the silver medals and later on the gold medals. But let's talk about this team. Their travels twice, losing semi-finalists. This year, losing finalists. It's some journey for them, only 3 years old.
Credit must be given to the coaching staff and also the chairman of the team. For them to play in such magnitude, it was a sterling performance from them. For me, I think they need to hold their heads high as they've done their best, but unfortunately it was not their day. They've tried everything they could do, but if it's not your day, Mabena, it's not your day.
At the tournament, top goal scorer coming into the final as well in Tugazi, the number 9, who came so close to scoring in that first half. And we talk about the conditions, and many would have heard us playing on the dusty field, as we call it, from the townships and so on. But it was the difference between a goal and no goal in that first half. The ball landing either on the gravel part of the pitch or on grass. It landed on the gravel, it bounced higher, went over the bar. That's the difference at this level.
Surely in a grass surface, that should have been a goal. But unfortunately, this time around, the gravel patch played its part. Some they'll say you were jinxed, or some they'll say it's because of the other special projects that were happening before the game. And that's risky for you at its best. When you play in such pitch that are bumpy, chances are these are defining moments of the game whereby the bounce is either before you shoot, or as you're shooting towards the goal, the bounce elevates the keeper, or it even goes out of play.
So unlucky for the losing finalists, as well as their coach. It'll be a hard one to take, having finally made the final after two losing semi-final bursts. They may have thought this was their time, but this very much the time of the Soweto Super United outfit here. They showed something else in a proper struggle, a proper tussle between two sides there. There was no separating these two sides for some time until the individual brilliance of men such as Kumete came through from the goalkeeping departments. My H in the middle of the park, and let's not forget the goal itself and the goal scorer in Sabotage.
When the game is tense, Mabena, you only hope for the individual brilliance to turn it on for your team. And we've seen my edge in the middle of the park. Yes, it was a closely contested, but that individual brilliance, that edge, we spoke about slimmer chances, and they only get that chance to make sure that he released that champagne pass to Sabotage. And Sabotage said, thank you, I want to make it count for my team. And what a strike from the young man.
Coached by Coach man who's been coaching for 8 years now, and you can see how well structured this team is, of course, in the Soweto Super United outfit. They have won 4 major tournaments in the past. They've added yet another. This is a team of stars at this level. Many are very familiar with some of the nicknames like Sabotage and so on, to people who spoke with earlier, building up to this final. But they certainly bring a life to a part of football that may not be covered on television, but that's very much alive and kicking, the amateur level at this level.
I think the coach, Mkhize, got it right when it comes to work ethic. When you're managing stars, you need to make sure that the work ethic is up, it's in par with their teammates. And that's what they've done best. The likes of Masuku, able to attack and defend at the same time with Shiba. It's something that we rarely seen from those attacking players. But this time around, they know what it was at stake.
The last tournament one was the Basia tournament out in Kwakwa. Now, here in 2018, for the first time, the Soweto Super United team is crowned the Maimane Alfred Phiri champions of the 18th edition of this tournament here in Alexandria.
Well-deserved champions. They worked, they sweated for it. Team effort was the winner of the game, but football, holistically, in Alexander, around South Africa, was the winner.
They will, and they deserve to celebrate long into the night after the exertions they put out to the semi-finals and the way of the final and getting to the final as well. Keep in mind, 32 started, one remains standing, and that one here in 2018 is the Soweto Super United team. My oh my, what a final, my oh my, what a turnout. And in as far as the Maimane Alfred Phiri Games, long may they last, and for Alexandria, we are grateful for yet another occasion to bring us all together to, well, enjoy the beautifully South African Disky game.
Football is a unifier, Mabena. From all spheres of Gauteng, they descended to Alexandra to witness the 18th edition of Maimane Alfred Phiri Games, and it never disappointed. It lived up to the expectation of the World of Champions, which changed the lives of the Soweto Super United team.
We are united with SSU as they celebrate being the 2018 champions of the Maimane Alfred Phiri Games.